Hello, Lakers Nation. Welcome in. We have a trade. The Lakers get a deal done, sending Russell Westbrook out. Coming in, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley in a three-team trade featuring the Wolves, the Jazz, and your Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to break down the deal. Joining me is Matt the Optimist Peralta. Matt, how are you feeling about this deal?
I'm feeling, pretty good. I have been saying all along that I've wanted to turn Russell Westbrook into multiple rotation guys. I think this deal does exactly that. Obviously, the Lakers are also sending out JTA and Damian Jones as well, but those guys are of no consequence. So, look, I think the Lakers did pretty well here. They only had to give up one first, and it wasn't even unprotected. Trevor, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, it's protected 1 through 4. So, that's actually not too bad for the Lakers here.
So here's the trade details. Again, this is from Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. Lakers finalizing the deal. Get D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. We'll talk about all three of them in just a moment. Mike Conley going from the Jazz to the Wolves. Russell Westbrook and that top 4 protected pick to Utah. Utah is expected to buy out Russell Westbrook. Early landing spots, perhaps the Miami Heat, maybe even the Clippers could be a team where he could wind up, but we'll see the way that all plays out. Juan Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones also on the way out from the Lakers, which means two things there. Both those players going out means the Lakers still have an open roster spot. So that's something of note because they have 3 players going out, 3 players coming in. Also clears Damian Jones' player option for next year off the books. Not a huge deal because it was on a minimum salary, but nonetheless, that money is now effectively off your books as well. Nickeil Alexander-Walker also winds up with the Wolves. Minnesota gets a 2024 first, the lesser of the Washington Memphis second round pick. I believe that's coming from the Lakers, and then 2 seconds coming from the Jazz. Matt, it feels like, and this is kind of the buzz we've been hearing, the Lakers probably kicked in a second rounder here to get this thing done. We were hearing earlier in the day that the Wolves were looking for maybe some more draft compensation. I think the Lakers may have tossed in a second just to push this thing over the finish line. I'm fine with that. I'm more than fine with that with this deal. I think this is a fantastic deal for the Lakers to pull this off with just one first, and you get D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley. You get the 3-point shooting that you've been looking for. You still have some creation ability from D'Angelo Russell, and then to get a young big that's on a cheap contract for next year in Jared Vanderbilt. Matt, I don't think the Lakers could ask for much more than what they got in this deal.
No, I think that, and let me, before I say anything else, let me give some credit to Rob Pelinka here. I think this
Yeah.
arguably is the best trade he's executed since he's been with the Lakers. I mean, Anthony Davis trade notwithstanding, I just think that, from a pure optics standpoint, achieving the goals, what you gave up to get them, I think it strikes a perfect balance. So, credit to Rob for getting this deal done. And like you said, like throwing in an extra second to push this over, I think I'm completely fine with that as well. That might be in exchange for getting some light protections on that pick. I'm sure Danny Ainge in Utah was probably looking for an unprotected pick, but Rob probably said, I'll throw in this second to help grease the deal, but I get to protect this pick 1 through 4. Again, I think that's good GM work, and I think the Lakers have set this all up nicely, not just for this season really, but they've got pieces for next year that they can play with as well.
And that's so critical. I mean, for one thing, the pick protections, which you mentioned, it presents an opportunity to, in the event of catastrophe in the 2026 season, you're now protected in that way, where if you wind up with a top 4 pick, you're not going to lose that. But as far as setting yourself up for the future, look, Jeannie Buss just talked about this recently about how she didn't want to sacrifice the future in order to make some moves to try to win right now. This is the type of move, given the age of the players involved, where you can help yourself in the present and in the future. All of these players are young enough to be Lakers for years to come here. D'Angelo Russell, of course, a former Laker, brings that 3-point shooting ability, $30 million expiring contract. We need to talk about that in just a moment. Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt already under contract for next year. He's got a small salary relative to his production. That is a bargain of a deal for him. And then Malik Beasley has a team option for about $16 million for next year. And this is a guy who's one of the top players in the NBA in 3-pointers made on the season. And that's exactly what the Lakers need. They need guys who can step in and shoot the 3. So based on this deal, Matt, I'm assuming the Lakers are going to operate as an above the cap team this coming summer, correct?
Yeah, they have to. I think that, given the lack of cap space that they were going to have, especially when you consider Rui Hachimura's cap hold, I think that the Lakers were probably operating under that assumption already. And not to turn this into another discussion, but I will say and point out that this does open up avenues for the Lakers to get creative with some sign and trade opportunities in the summer. I think you kind of know where I'm going with that. I don't know if he who shall not be named, but
Kyrie.
Kyrie Irving, exactly. This does open up an avenue for the Lakers to acquire him via free agency in the summer. That's a discussion maybe for another video and another time. But I think going back to just this deal in particular, I'm happy. I'm glad that the Lakers were able to do what they could with the limited assets they had. And I think that, there are definitely still a move, maybe even two moves that they can make to bolster this roster some more.
So we've got Jared Vanderbilt at 4.7 million next season, and it's not even fully guaranteed. They're going to guarantee that. That's a bargain of a deal for him. Malik Beasley at 16.5 million next season on a team option. So if things completely fall apart, got some optionality. And then on top of that, D'Angelo Russell's on an expiring contract. Do you see D'Lo being a long-term fit here with the Lakers? I mean, the former Laker now coming back after having multiple stops in between. Is he a guy you hang on to, or is that the guy that you're thinking of when you look at a potential sign and trade scenario this summer?
I think it's more the latter. Like, look, don't get me wrong. D'Lo is going to be a useful piece for the Lakers this season. He's shooting really well from three. I believe it's almost 40%. The Lakers could definitely use that. And, depending on the number that he's looking for this offseason, maybe there's a chance that he could be re-signed. But honestly, I am looking at it more as a piece that could get moved down the line for the Lakers here.
Yeah, he is at 39% from deep so far this season, along with 6.2 assists. He's been playing very, very well, 18 points per game for the Minnesota Timberwolves now coming back to Los Angeles. Again, this offers a lot of flexibility moving forward for the Lakers while giving them the shooting that they need right now, gets you an interesting young big in Jared Vanderbilt. There is so much to like about this deal from the Lakers' perspective. Russell Westbrook on the way out obviously had up and down time with the Lakers roller coaster, will hit free agency once the Jazz buy him out. Adrian Wojnarowski just now tweeting that the Jazz have got this, incredible package of draft picks that they have sitting in front of them, including that Lakers 2027 pick. Utah clearly trying to build around those. Are the Lakers done here, though? Or is there another move potentially coming? They still have another first-round pick. Patrick Beverley, Lonnie Walker still on the roster for the time being, and the trade deadline coming up tomorrow at 3:00 Eastern.
Yeah, I think there's definitely another move, maybe even two coming, like I mentioned. I think that the Lakers are probably signaling that they won't be able to re-sign or would decide not to re-sign Patrick Beverley or Lonnie Walker. If that's the decision, then you have to trade those guys for something of value. I think either one or both of them could get packaged in another deal, perhaps for another ring. I know a lot of people want Gary Trent Jr., Bojan Bogdanovic is still out there. The Lakers still have their 2029 first. If they really want to swing big and package those two guys together with that pick for another player of those two caliber, I think they could probably get away with it, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them try and execute a smaller move with Patrick Beverley's salary in particular.
Yeah, agreed. I could see them do something like that, particularly again with Beasley, D'Angelo Russell coming into the fold. Could definitely see that happening. But wow, what a start. And again, we're not even to the trade deadline just yet. Could see another move coming, maybe even two more, as Matt the Optimist Peralta mentioned. Matt, something got done here. The Lakers did not stand pat at the trade deadline. They got a deal done. And just to sum it all up, I think this is a great deal for the Lakers. Got to feel good with this one, right?
I absolutely do. I think this is, again, good work by Rob, the front office. I think the Lakers are going to be better off for it. And, before we close here, I do want to say, I know he was a polarizing player. I know there was a lot of drama associated with him throughout the past season and a half or so. But, I do want to say thanks to Russell for being, a consummate professional. I don't think there are a lot of star players that would have handled all the things that happened in the past year or so as well as he did. So I am appreciative of that. But, I think it was time for both sides to move on. And hopefully, both parties are doing well going forward.
Chris Haynes, by the way, speaking of Russell Westbrook, Chris Haynes just now, should Russell Westbrook secure a buyout from the Utah Jazz after the three-team trade is complete, the Clippers are said to have interest in the star guard.
Makes sense. Probably won't have to move very far then.
No, he would not have to move far at all. Lakers Nation, give us your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about this trade? The Lakers getting a deal done ahead of the trade deadline. Make sure you are subscribing right here to the Lakers Nation YouTube channel. Ring that notification bell as well. Till next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.